The story begins with chaos. A frightened boy tries desperately to save his friend Jane, who has just been bitten by a zombie. But before he can help, Jane turns into a zombie herself and bites him. The infection spreads fast across the university, and panic fills every corner. Students run in every direction, screaming and searching for safety as the outbreak grows worse. Jane, now a zombie, spots her group of friends and runs toward them. Everyone tries to escape, but she attacks San and pushes him to the ground. San fights back, kicking her away. Just then, another zombie jumps at him, but San kills it using an iron rod. For a brief moment, we see something strange. Both zombies stretch their hands toward each other, showing a hint of emotion, like they still remember something from their past lives. The students flee to the Faculty of Science building and lock the doors. Among them is a girl named Ning. She plugs in her phone to call her professor. He asks her about a student named Non, but Ning says she doesn't know where he is. She pleads with the professor to look after her sick mother. Zombies bang on the doors and windows, trying to break in, so Ning quickly ends the call to stay quiet. Meanwhile, the professor is watching the news. The Prime Minister announces a state of emergency in Bangkok after the zombie outbreak begins at the university. At another part of the university, a boy named Kevin leads his group to a balcony, hoping to escape. From there, they spot Ning and her group on the opposite building's balcony. Non calls Ning, and both groups are overjoyed to know they're alive. But their relief doesn't last long. A zombie suddenly falls from above, making everyone scream. The scene shifts back to the professor, who is with Ning's mother. He is testing an antidote that might stop the infection. At the same time, both survivor groups talk over the phone and make a plan to meet somewhere safe. But their call suddenly cuts off, marking the beginning of Lost Connection. The story then jumps back 6 months earlier. A zombie is tied up, and a camera crew is filming a movie scene. The girl playing the zombie is Lily, and the director, Fee, wants her to act with emotion, even tears. After some argument, Lily agrees and performs a powerful scene that impresses everyone. Later, we meet San and Non, who are on their way to pick up Ning. On the news, there's a warning about a deadly heat wave spreading across the country. We also learn that Ning's mother is very sick and can barely move. The professor meets Ning and asks her to join a research project that might cure her mother. He tells her it's risky, but it could be their only hope. Ning later discusses it with her friends, and Jean encourages her to accept the offer, saying she could save her mother's life. Just then, a car horn interrupts them. It's Ning's boyfriend, San. He feels uncomfortable seeing Ning with Jean, but Ning avoids arguing and just asks him to take her home. Jean, on the other hand, visits his aunt, who happens to be Pao's mother, a woman working as a cleaner. At Ning's house, San notices a sweater hanging and suddenly has a terrifying flashback. A dead girl, blood splashing, and a woman calling his name while wearing that same sweater. Just then, Non arrives home, snapping San back to reality. Soon after, the professor calls Ning to ask for her decision about the project. We return to the present. The university is overrun with zombies. Non's group hides in one area, while Ning's group hides in a staircase. Moving together is risky, so they split into smaller groups to survive. Non's team decides to distract the zombies using loudspeakers. Pao volunteers to install one. As soon as it plays, the sound of the news broadcast lures dozens of zombies toward it. Meanwhile, Ning's group rescues a girl named Nan while hiding under a tree. Suddenly, blood drips from above. Jane is there, crouched on a branch. She attacks without warning. Everyone runs, but Pao gets knocked down. He pushes Jane away, but Nan gets bitten and soon turns into a zombie. Pao cries helplessly as his friend dies in front of him. At the same time, the professor injects Ning's mother with the antidote. The surviving students gather and discover the government has shut down all utilities. No water, power, or communication. A student brings a radio and announces that the university has been marked as Ground Zero. Rescue helicopters will come at 8 a.m., and everyone must reach the rooftop. Fear spreads among them. Getting there means fighting through a sea of zombies. Ning goes to the control room and announces the rescue plan to the entire campus. But before she can finish, the power cuts out. Across the campus, students start running toward the rooftops, battling through hordes of zombies in the rain. The professor, frustrated and bleeding after punching a glass window, watches the storm rage. The survivors, drenched and trembling, prepare to move forward. Just then, 2 students escaping from zombies and hiding inside a truck. They hear the sound of helicopters. The rescue team is here, but the noise attracts more zombies. They hide quietly, one armed with an axe. A zombie tries to attack, but they fight back. Just as things get worse, gunfire echoes in the distance. The zombies rush toward the sound, leaving the two students alive. Now we flash back again. Ning and Non are playing a video game, yelling at each other. Their mother walks in, and Non complains that Ning got a new phone from her boyfriend San. Ning denies it, saying she bought it herself. Non asks their mother for a phone too. Later, their mother leaves for work as a delivery woman. When she arrives at a checkpoint, she meets Pao, who checks her packages. He jokes with her, then suddenly covers her face with a black cloth. She's taken into a garage and then enters a laundry room to change. But when she hears screams, she runs toward them and witnesses a group of boys murdering a girl. Among them is San. He turns and sees her. This is the same memory from San's earlier flashback. One boy, Joe, chases Ning's mother, but collapses suddenly. His friends panic, asking what San did to him. Later, we see Ning's mother holding medicine. Joe's condition has stabilized, but the doctor says he fainted due to panic and a strange drug in his body. The doctor mentions that Joe had been given something called the Anisong vaccine. The department head then instructs that Joe must be locked up once he recovers. After the doctor leaves, the head tells Ning's mother she can't continue the project, but she refuses to stop. Fearing her children will be taken as hostages, she injects herself with the vaccine to test it on her own body. She makes one condition. If she fails, the company must promise to protect her kids. If she succeeds, she'll return the formula and leave the country with her family. She signs the agreement and returns home. Seeing her children asleep, she cries quietly. When Ning wakes up and asks where she was, their mother lies, saying she was at a protest with delivery workers. Back in the present, the students are tired and hopeless. Non notices a boy sketching pictures of zombies. Nearby, Fa worries about her parents, and Lily tries to comfort her. Pao tries to take Fa outside, but Lily stops her, and they argue until others calm them down. Fa's phone breaks, and Jean lends her his own. Non starts recording a video. In it, we see all the zombies heading towards the auditorium. The students wonder why. Maybe the zombies aren't mindless. Some think they can still feel emotions, like when Jane reached out to her friend before. Morning comes, but no rescue team arrives. San suggests splitting up to find weapons. The students agree and move out. Ning and Non craft makeshift weapons, and Pao distributes others from a box. Suddenly, they spot zombies nearby. These zombies act strangely. Office workers returning to their desks, library staff organizing books, and cleaners mopping the floors. The students hide and watch in fear. Lily and Fa try to escape through a window. Lily climbs out first, but a zombie gardener with a cutter appears. Fa hides inside, terrified. Her phone suddenly rings, alerting the zombies. They attack Lily, biting her leg. Fa rushes to help, but the zombies chase her too. Lily is bitten again on the neck. Fa runs away crying, while Win watches Lily die, unable to save her. Ning picks up the gardener's cutter and leads the group as more zombies attack. They fight back and run upstairs, gathering together. In the chaos, Fa is left behind, surrounded by zombies. The group watches helplessly as she's torn apart. Pao collapses, screaming, and then everyone notices blood on his arm. He might be infected. Meanwhile, Win and Knight return to Lily's body. Suddenly, Lily moves. Knight warns Win not to go near her, but she opens her eyes. Now a zombie. They both run as she lunges at them. After that, Ning, who finally reaches the rooftop with a few students. Rescue helicopters can be seen flying nearby, giving everyone hope. But when Ning notices that Non isn't there, she panics and runs back down the staircase to find him. Meanwhile, Win and Knight escape the zombies and reach the swimming pool area. Just as they take a moment to breathe, they see something shocking Lily, who has now turned into a zombie, walking straight toward them. Win asks Knight, "Do you know how to swim?" Knight looks confused, wondering why he's asking that. But Win has already seen zombie Lily coming, so he quickly plans to jump into the pool. Both of them run as fast as they can, and right before Lily reaches them, they dive into the pool. And guess what? Zombie Lily jumps in too. Win and Knight hold their breath underwater, while zombie Lily splashes around for a bit before going still, sinking to the bottom. Now the scene cuts to Pao, whose arm is covered in blood. John refuses to leave his brother behind, saying he'll stay with him no matter what. Pao starts crying, thinking he's infected, but when Jean's friend checks closely, they realize the blood is actually from a glass cut, not a zombie bite. Pao is safe after all. We go back to Win and Knight, who climb out of the pool completely drenched. Just then, Sun and his group arrive to help them. But when they see Lily's unconscious body floating in the pool, Sun jumps in to rescue her, not realizing how dangerous that could be. Viewers, do you think that was a smart move or a huge mistake? Meanwhile, Non and the rest of the students finally reach the rooftop, only to realize Ning isn't with them. Ning, still on the stairs, suddenly spots zombies climbing toward her. Within seconds, the entire staircase fills with a horde of zombies. Ning screams and runs back up to the rooftop, shouting for everyone to move because the zombies are coming. The rescue helicopters start firing bullets, killing several zombies. But here's the twist. They started shooting before the zombies even reached the rooftop. So were the helicopters really there to rescue people? Or to kill everyone? Back on the staircase, Jean, Pao, and their friend hear the chaos above, but don't understand what's happening. Thea assumes Pao must be infected, but the others defend him. When Thea confirms Pao is fine, they all run back toward the hall. Suddenly, they see zombie Fa approaching. Pao walks toward her, ignoring everyone's warnings. He calls out her name, and for a moment, she actually responds. But right then, an axe flies through the air and kills her instantly. The axe was thrown by Gus, who has just arrived with Earth and the remaining survivors. Fa's death is confirmed when the group hits her one last time to make sure she's gone for good. 4 months earlier, Ning is working in her laboratory on an important research project. After getting successful results, she messages her professor and stores the experimental cells in a freezer at 58 degrees. Later, she meets her professor and argues with him about her mother's illness, asking when her mom will finally get treatment. The professor insists they need to find another specimen with a faster metabolism. Ning confidently says she'll figure it out and tells him to only test on animals, not humans. But the professor reminds her that final decisions are made by the higher authorities. Ning mentions she's already isolated her mother's and Joe's cells in Petri dishes. After she leaves, Pao comes in and warns the professor that their sponsors are unhappy with the results. Joe, the sponsor's son, is getting worse, and they want the experiment fixed within 3 days, or the whole project will be shut down. He also tells the professor to continue alone and remove Ning from the team. Back in the present, we see some students in the gym storage room looking for food and water. Mook is treating Pao's wound when Gus and Earth arrive. Seeing Gus's axe reminds Pao of Fa's death. Meanwhile, another group of armed students stay separate, saying the others have only caused more infections instead of rescuing anyone. Someone mentions a shocking rumor. The helicopters didn't come to save them. They came to kill everyone who gathered on the rooftop. Pao blames Ning for announcing the rooftop rescue message, saying she led everyone into a trap. But Non defends her, saying the helicopters started firing before the zombies even arrived. Still, Pao insists that if Lily, the general's daughter, had been alive, no one would have dared to attack them. Then, they all watch Non's video recording of the zombies. Meanwhile, the professor, sitting in his lab, finds a clue in Dr. Kenchana's research about jellyfish, creatures that contain reprogramming factors, which make them biologically immortal. Excited, he calls Pao to ask for something urgently, though it's unclear what. Maybe it's the jellyfish. Back to the survivors. They realize from the video that the zombies are moving in an organized way, like someone is controlling them. That means there might be a zombie leader among them. They also discover something strange. The temperature has risen to 45 degrees C. When the zombies moved toward the auditorium earlier, it was only 25 degrees C. Maybe the heat is affecting their behavior. Some even seem to be walking like they're half asleep, not attacking. Suddenly, Mook notices that Pao is missing. They rush out and find Gus lying on the ground with an axe wound, while Pao is trying to choke Earth. The group knocks Pao down, ties him up, and locks him in a room. Jean feels ashamed, telling everyone his brother has mental issues. Elsewhere, Pao sits alone, crying with a wound on her hand. Game enters and quietly gives her a bandage despite her rude attitude. Later, Mook secretly steals Jean's keys, goes to the locked room, and talks to Pao. But Pao's words are dark. He says zombies are better than humans because they stick together, while humans always end up alone. He asks Mook to become a zombie with him so they'll always stay together. Mook refuses, telling him life still has value. Angry, Pao grabs her throat and chokes her, but suddenly lets go and walks away. He finds Gus lying outside, clearly infected. Seeing the axe beside him, Pao picks it up and the screen fades to black. Meanwhile, Win and Knight study Lily, who's still unconscious. They discover a type of mushroom called psilocybe, known for causing hallucinations but also used in medicine to calm the mind. Soon they realize Lily's wounds are healing by themselves, a terrifying sign. At the same time, Non's team heads to the auditorium to look for the zombie leader. Pao, jealous of Ning, starts taunting her about San, claiming she's having an affair with him. Ning gets angry, But before they can fight, Jean interrupts them. We see Gus barely alive. Two students nearby are sketching zombies to study their behavior. They suddenly hear strange noises, and when they go to check, they find Mook tied up and Pao gone. Outside, Pao reaches Gus and sees him slowly turning into a zombie. Pao grabs the axe again. Meanwhile, Nan's group finally discovers who the zombie leader is. It's Anti-Jit, the gardener. The other zombies seem to follow her commands. Shockingly, Anti-Jit even eats other zombies, and the zombie children join her. Back near the building, Ning's group finds Gus dead with an axe in his head, killed by Pao. Earth loses control, crying and running off to find and kill Pao. Jean runs after him to protect his brother. The chaos spreads as zombies surround the survivors. Jean and Ning carry injured Pao and try to escape, but Ayak, another student, has been bitten. Losing his mind, Ayak points a gun at Jean and Ning. Suddenly, Pao starts laughing hysterically at him, which drives Aik crazy. Aik shoots Pao in the head and then shoots himself, ending both their lives. Jean breaks down in tears. Despite all his efforts, he couldn't save his brother. Now, we flash back 1 month earlier. The professor injects Anti-Jit with an experimental anti-aging serum. He warns her not to go to any hospital. If she feels side effects, she must come only to him. In return, he pays her some money. Soon after, Auntie and others who got the serum start feeling extremely hot and weak. Ning sees Auntie sweating heavily, but doesn't realize what's wrong. Later, Auntie finds a strange sticky fluid on her neck, the first sign of infection. Back in the present, Ning finally realizes the truth. The professor used infected jellyfish in his serum, which caused the infection that turned humans into zombies. Everyone who received the serum spread it further. Meanwhile, Lily regains consciousness. Toto tries to kill her, saying she's not human anymore, but others stop him. Suddenly, gunfire breaks out. In panic, Win and Knight give Lily the hallucination mushrooms, hoping they'll calm her brain. As everyone argues whether Lily should live or die, chaos builds again, and the episode ends right there. So, viewers, what do you think? Is there still humanity left inside Lily? And what will happen next? If you want to see Episode 5's recap, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for updates.